Good day everyone. We are going to try and make a window farm. Going to be using these 1.5 liter Coke bottles. Going to use approximately 8 in all. We're going to make some holes in the bottom so that they can screw into each other, and we'll make some windows so that the plants have got a place to grow out of. Let's see. I think what we're going to do is we'll make the hole at the bottom first. Hold the bottles quite tight, because when we go onto the step drill it tends to bite, and if you're not holding it tightly it can hurt you. Sorry, this is a voiceover as my audio didn't work during the recording. Okay, here goes. Take it slow. You don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to bite. There you go. There's the first bite. So there we go. Hold it tight. Yeah, it tends to bite quite there. You see, inside the bottle it is. Don't worry about it. Just undo the drill bit. You're going to cut the windows in now. So yeah, drill bit will come straight out, or step drill will come straight out. Clean it off nicely. These are quite hard and rigid. You might use a side cutter or something. There you go. Now that fits in there, and when the holes are in there you'll be able to put the cap on. Easiest way to make the holes is try and find a reasonable spot, and there I'm showing you just what I used. I used the ridges and the low spot in the bottom. Now we're going to try and leave a gap or support on both sides. The easiest thing to do is to try and find the spine, if you will, of the bottle, and just use that as your guide to draw your marks. Then we will cut it out. Mark both the same places on both sides of the bottle, bearing in mind you want to leave that little bit of a support in the middle. Now just join up the lines, and these are the lines that you're going to be cutting on. It doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be functional. So take your time and see how you can make these lines, and we're going to be cutting them out with a knife. Now this is an El Cheap knife, craft knife, very sharp, very dangerous. If you're going to do this, please be careful. Yeah, it will cut you, and it can be a very nasty cut. Just follow the line as far as you can. Try and hold the bottle as soon as you can from inside. That gives you additional support. Okay, and there it is. No harm, no foul, everything out. Just do the same with the other side. Be careful again. I'm not going to show you how I cut out all 8 of them. You've seen one, you've seen them all. So you're going to cut out 6 with the windows in. You're going to make 2 rows of 8 bottles. well, with the 8 bottles, 2 rows of 4. So you're going to cut out 3 for each row with a little window in it. And next I will show you how to cut it out, cut out a little window, if you will, to fill up the lowest bottle. It's got the least amount of cuts in, so it will be reasonable. And there you go. That's basically it. Alright, this is where I'm talking about the little window. Just I tried to do this for the first time. I didn't know if it will work. So all I'm doing is trying to make a little bit of a flap, if you will, a little bit of a cover that will allow you to fill the water into the bottom and close to protect it from dust. So what I did was I used a lid and I just drew around it with a marker, and then I cut it out very carefully. Now the bottom of this is very hard. It's quite a lot thicker than the remaining of the bottle, so things can slip very easily. So take your time and be very careful with this. As mentioned before, the blade is quite a sharp thing, so rather take it very slow and do little bits at a time, and see if it works. No rush, just take your time. And that's approximately it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try and bend it in and bend it out and see how it goes and see how it falls. Maybe it will be working, maybe it won't. First time for everything, so let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. Could have been better, but that's okay. Okay, time to make the flower holders or the plant holders. Use the yogurt, old yogurt, so we're trying to recycle, and we are going to cut it off like so. What we do is I put it in there, drew a line on the side. Here it is, I'm showing you. I just put that in there, drew a line on the side where the opening is, and then snipped it off. Now the easiest way to do this going forward is to try and put them on the same flat surface, and I'll show you how to do that now. Just like so, and you try and get a pen mark on the height that you've already determined, and you hold that all dead still and turn the object that you want to create the mark on, the height mark on, and yeah, it works every time, doesn't matter what you use. So you've got a nice height there to cut. I'm just going to start the hole off with the knife, and then use a scissors just to make the hole, then the scissors, and it tends to work quite well. It becomes quite tricky, so just cut it in an angle, just so that the end can fold up and get out of your way, and do that every now and then, and it'll work quite well. And there you have it. Okay, the easiest way to make these holes is to use a soldering iron. Now you can use many other things. You could use a nail that you heat up with a candle or a lighter, but a soldering iron, this is a soldering iron that I don't really use to solder with. I've had it for a number of years, and I use it to make holes and things. So just be careful. Try not to breathe this in because it's not very pleasant smell. So yeah, do this in a well ventilated area. Make a number of holes. I'm just trying to do a bit of a pattern here. Don't need to. It's just for the water to drain straight out and not sit in the bottom of your cup. You can go and buy net pots. They are quite expensive, but yeah, trying to recycle. Now you're going to do the same with the bottle caps. You're going to use the soldering iron to make the hole in the bottle cap, and you're going to take a piece of tubing. This is a piece that I already had. It's not exactly the right length, but it's about 6 mils, I think. So you want it to go from the bottom approximately there, maybe a bit shorter than that, but measure a few of them off, and then you push it in there. Now I chose this bottle cap for a reason, because the hole's slightly too small. So all you do is you use the scissors, give it one turn, and that will pop in quite nicely. Now what you want to do is you want to try and hold that in there. It's not going to take a lot of pressure. There's no water pressure or anything like that. It's just to keep the tube from falling out, because you don't want water dripping all over your leaves when your plants start growing. So I've put a little bit of hot melt glue on here. You can fill that end up if you like, up to the ridge, just as long as the cap can still screw on. And you do that for all of the caps, and I've made quite a few of them there. So yeah, that's relatively straightforward, relatively easy. So yeah, there's going to be 2 for the bottom, and then obviously yeah, well, there you go, there's the 2 for the bottom. Now there's my little air pump. I've got one-way valves on them, as you can see there. 2 little taps to control the amount of air, and we'll follow the first one down, and it just loops down onto the ground and then goes into the T end of a T-piece. Following that down and coming back up towards the black pipe, there is the bottom liquid folder, the one with a little door in it, and that just contains the liquid. That is water that came from my fish tank. It's actually an aquaponics tank. And there you can see my grow media in there, clay pebbles, and going all the way to the top, you can see the plants are just starting to grow, and there's the first bit of water coming down. So the water just comes in right from the top, and it comes from that T-piece I showed you earlier. The air mixes with the pressure of the water coming from your water bottle, and that sends up little air beads, if you will, and that pushes water up, and you're only looking for a few droplets at a time, and that's more than sufficient. You can see it running there. Got some plants in there as well, and it's all looking quite well. Little plant growth there, and the top one, small one there, it's laying flat at the minute, but it will grow, and we'll keep you updated. Please like, share and subscribe. Catch you later. Thank you very much for watching.